right, Suzy, it's
Chris.
great to have you here on Manufacturing Happy Hour. And it's funny because we were just chatting over lunch, and I said, hey, if we were to ever do a podcast, theoretically, I would ask you this question. If we were having a drink, how would you describe what the ARM Institute does? So, first question, what does the ARM Institute do as if we're having a beverage here in Florida or up in Pittsburgh where it's based?
Oh, nice to be on your podcast and lovely to start the year off seeing you both at A3, which is my favorite conference to start off the year. So, the ARM Institute is a very unique organization in the United States. We are one of 16 institutes that were formed starting in 2012 to try to advance the state of advanced manufacturing so that automation is more accessible to especially small and medium-sized manufacturers. So we do this very differently from other organizations. We all form consortiums, and we have member consortiums, and they work on projects that are funded by the federal government. And then we make the output available from these projects to our members. And our projects typically are in two different areas. They're either technology-based, we're trying to advance the state of robotics and AI, or they're workforce-based. Because as you both probably know, one of the biggest challenges in manufacturing, in fact, the biggest challenge, is lack of a skilled workforce. And so we do focus in that area as well.
So let's talk about resources. I think that's one of the cool things that you guys have. You have a website filled of content that's available for people who want to learn about robotics. How is that such an important initiative for what you guys are trying to do right now?
Roboticscareer.org, which is that website, is something that's really critical, we believe, to the United States and for people who are really interested in manufacturing careers. There is a belief or a misnomer that you need a PhD from MIT or Stanford or Carnegie Mellon University to work with robotics, and that simply isn't true. You can work with robotics as a technician or an operator in a manufacturing environment with an associate's degree or a special trade degree. And so what we've attempted to do is help people understand the breadth of educational offerings that there are in the United States to allow them to gain the skills in order to have a well-paying, middle-class job working with robots in manufacturing. So roboticscareer.org lists close to 13,000 programs now across almost 2,000 organizations in the United States and Puerto Rico that provide this type of education.
So one of the big things that we look at is emerging workforces, millennials and Gen Zs, as we learned this morning from Alan, and that's really the future available workforce for manufacturing. I think one of the things that the website's doing, what ARM's doing, is it's creating more of awareness around how people can go into the industry right away with not having to go to a four-year engineering degree, as you stated. What are ways that manufacturers and end users can really leverage this website, or what ARM's doing in general, to create more awareness to the industry that's going to benefit everyone?
It's a great question. I think for employers, what we've really tried to do is we've made this site slightly different from anything that you might see in the industry because we actually work within our consortium and we work with manufacturing employers to say what skills and competencies are the most critical for these types of jobs, these advanced manufacturing jobs. And if you look on our website, every one of those 2,000 programs has skills and competencies identified with them. So if an employer wants to upskill their existing workforce to work with robotics and they think they need these 4 or 5 skills, they can easily come and search our website and find out what programs are nearby that provide those skills. So that's one way that I think we're really unique, that the employers can use us either by bringing new people on board or by upskilling their existing employees to work with the advanced automation technology that they'd like to bring into their environment. We will be adding later this year some job matching capabilities too, to help the employers fill those almost 800,000 jobs that we hear that are out there in manufacturing today that are unfilled.
So we're here at the A3 Business Forum. I kind of look at this as a kickoff to the year for work, for automation, for state of the industry. So last question, going into 2022, what are you excited about?
Oh, a lot to be excited about. Probably the biggest thing among roboticscareer.org, we're really excited about that because we really hope to have an impact on filling some of these jobs, is the focus now on artificial intelligence.
Okay.
And we see that now here at the conference, here at the A3 conference. We put a lot of work actually last summer into doing more research and discovery over what are the key areas where where AI can really have an impact on automation. And we're going to be publishing some of those results over the course of this year and building upon that, what we learned. So I think it really is taking robots, which we know have been around for decades, but really introducing this additional layer of intelligence that allows them to take on even more challenging jobs than perhaps we thought they weren't able to take on before. And that will just create more jobs, as we talked about today, right? That'll create more skills needed and more capabilities for people to have more jobs because, as we've all seen, automation tends to create jobs. It doesn't tend to take them away. And so I think we'll see robots start to move away from just the dull, dirty, and dangerous jobs, but some of the other jobs, which humans still don't want to do, right? And I think we'll also start to see some better integration between some of the different robotic devices. Right now, as you know, a lot of the robots have their own proprietary languages. They don't speak very well to each other.
Yeah.
AI will help that. Some of the investments that we see being made in interoperability are also going to have that too.
Well, we talk about the 3Ds on this show quite a bit, so we're
Right.
excited to see robotics go beyond those. Every resource we mentioned can be found at the show notes page over at manufacturinghappyhour.com. I just wanted to say, Suzy, thanks so much for jumping on the show today.
Oh, great to see you both, and looking forward to talking to you again in the future about all the great things happening in manufacturing.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.